Welcome to another episode of The Enigma Effect. In tonight's episode, we explore the mysteries of the dream world and what we perceive as the true nature of reality. What are dreams? Simply our fanciful thoughts manifested by our subconscious mind? Or something deeper and more spiritual than we could ever imagine? As our most pleasant fantasies play out within our dreams, a simple outside catalyst can quickly turn this pleasantry into a nightmare. We invite you on this journey and to have an open mind and heart as we delve into this abstract but fascinating phenomenon.
Yo, Thomas, what's up, bruh?
Not much, brother.
How you been?
Good, bro. Good to be back.
It is good. We took a little vacation, huh? A little summer
Absolutely.
vacation.
Hell yeah. But, gotta get back to the grind.
Yeah, the podcast continues. This is actually going to be our 20th episode.
Are we on 20?
I think we're on 20.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so that's
Celebrate.
yeah, celebrate with
Cheers.
this drink right here. Salute.
Mine's almost gone already.
Oh man, you need a refill?
Probably.
All right, just let
We'll
me
take
know.
a break in a little bit.
Yeah. So
But-
how's everything going, man?
Great, bro. Things are going really good. Just, hard at work. Like I said earlier, I'm just saving money and
Yeah.
building the 401k.
The good old 401k, huh?
Yeah. How about you?
Well, I'm not saving in the 401k, but no, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, it's just life in general, dude. It's been pretty. It feels like as you get older, it just goes a lot quicker. Right?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's what the grandparents say, and they were right.
They were right.
100%.
Yeah. Sometimes you look at things in life and you're like, oh, okay, I still have time, but in reality, you don't
You
have
just
time.
You don't. Yesterday
So-
was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows, And today might be another 10 years, and
All right.
after that, who knows what happens in 10 years, right?
It's crazy.
And you ever think about stuff like that? Like,
Oh yeah. Time is just insane.
am I even going
If
to be
it-
here in 10 years? Am I
Yeah.
not? Am I going to be old? Well, how's my
Yeah.
life going to be? Am I going to be in the same spot? Maybe worse, maybe better.
Right. Yeah. It always seems. It seems like it's always like I get like it's. Always, I'm always in a little better spot 10 years from each level of 10. Yeah. Definitely better than I was 10 years ago.
Right.
Like I'm in a way better spot, way better headspace. Just
And older and
as
wiser?
it should be. Yeah, as it should be. There should always be a gradual incline and try to avoid the declines. There's always gonna be a little bit here and there. You'll have those bumpy roads, those bad days. But
Yeah. I mean, if you have friends, family, health,
which I
You
do,
know,
thank God.
yeah, that's
I'm
all you
very
pretty
blessed.
need, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's the topic today, Thomas?
Dreams.
Dreams, huh?
Dreams today. Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah.
you-
Dreams in the more literal sense.
Yeah.
So, there's one story in particular, but I'll get into it in a little bit. What do you think? Like, why do we dream?
That there's so many different answers for why we dream. I've always thought in a simpler way, it's just some kind of memory that you hold in the back of your head.
Mhm.
And it's been scientifically observed. Like they do tests on people while they're dreaming that it's just a memory that you have stored in the back of your brain because your brain is constantly working, even if you're
Right.
sleeping, right?
Yeah, it seems to be like more lit up almost even in some ways. Like, because they put you in that whatever that machine is, that can like kind of measure the electrical impulses in your brain, and it's like almost like things are being accessed differently when you're sleeping than when you're awake. Almost like your brain's more utilized when you're
Right.
sleeping
Isn't
than
that
even
weird?
when you're awake. Yeah.
And what if your brain doesn't work while you're sleeping?
Well, And I guess you're a vegetable. I
Yeah, you're
don't
a vegetable,
know.
but that's kind of creepy to even think about.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if your brain is not working as your body rests, yeah, you're pretty much a vegetable. And what if
Yeah.
it struggles to come back?
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if that ever happens to people. Like,
Yeah, that's
you know,
crazy.
I feel like that's probably something that's probably there's probably a phenomena that has some scientific word that
Hmm.
describes it that
Right.
you go to sleep and you wake up either like not the same person or not at all, or you're a vegetable waking up or something like that. You know, I've heard of people dying like
In their
in
sleep.
their sleep, and they could, and it could be something in your because I've have you heard that you die in your
Yeah.
dreams,
Yeah.
you could die in real life, you
Yeah.
know, which I don't think I've ever had a dream where I could say I actually died in the dream. So
I
yeah,
I've had some weird dreams.
hmm
Have you ever had a dream that like it sticks with you forever?
uh, yes, I have few of
Oh,
those.
which one's the
Yeah.
craziest one you would say?
Oh. The one that I can describe the most vividly was when I was a kid. So when I was a kid, we had a bedroom. I shared a bedroom with my brother, and it was a bunk bed. And I was on the bottom bunk; he was on the top bunk. When I would lay down flat in my bed and was just staring straight, in front of me, basically just looking at the underneath side of the bunk bed, uh, there was bars that went across rather than
Hmm.
like wood slats. You know, some beds would be like wood slats to be the
Right.
support, but these were like metal bars. And then
Like a metal bunk bed, pretty much, right?
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
metal bunk bed, and they were and to the support, for the mattress above were these metal bars.
Hmm.
So they just went across horizontally. Well, one night, I had a dream where I was at school. It was recess. We were all playing outside. There was like a big storm, and this was in my childhood. I was afraid of tornadoes, like
Hmm.
storms, and I was actually afraid of being on the top bunk. In my mind, it was like, well, if a tornado happens, it's going to rip the roof off, and I'm going to go flying out if I'm in the top bunk,
Oh.
Well, in my dream, I had it was a tornado, right? And everybody got into the building except for me. So I almost got to the building. I get sucked up into the tornado, and I'm just kind of like floating around in the tornado, going around and around. And then suddenly I'm like spit out, and I'm falling, and I'm like ground is coming really quickly towards me. And just before I hit the ground, I wake up. What I did when I was woken up, I had grabbed hold of those metal bars. I was like holding on to them.
Hmm.
So it's like as I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling. And then when I woke up, I let go of those metal bars and it was like I fell into my bed.
So it's kind of like your body was reacting to what you were dreaming, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. You know, people are not going to believe this, but one of the dreams that sticks out the most for me, it also has a tornado in it.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah, I remember my family when I was about 12, my family had like a little farm that my parents had like 5 acres.
Mm.
And
Was this in Idaho?
yeah, it was in Idaho.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I was in middle school. I remember that. And what happened was I was getting ready to go to school. I remember, and a big old tornado, and I couldn't go anywhere, and I couldn't find anybody. It was just me in the room, and there's a tornado. So I go outside, and with the animals and stuff, and they're spinning in the middle of this tornado. Well, I see like a hole in the sky, a black hole. Like it was
Mm.
just a black hole, and it was sucking everything up,
Mm.
like sucking the animals up. The ground was coming up, and I was crying because I'm like I'm too young. Like this world can't end yet. I'm too young,
Mm.
and I was like begging, please, not right now. Like I'm just a child. And for some reason, they said I heard a voice, and I can't remember what the voice was. Like I really don't remember. And then it spit everything back out to normal.
Oh, wow.
And then I woke up and
Hmm.
I'm like, oh shit.
You didn't hear like what the voice was
No,
saying
I
or
don't remember
anything?
what the voice was
Mm.
saying, but there was a voice that said something. It was like a sentence. It wasn't even that much. And yeah, it spit everything
Mm.
back out to like normal. And then I
That's
remember
crazy.
my heart was coming out of my chest. Like I was like,
Mm.
couldn't breathe, couldn't do everything. And I'm
Mm.
like, wow, that's just a dream.
That's crazy.
And for the longest time, even till this day, I don't know what that really meant. Like, I don't know. So I think it's, and dreams also have a lot to do with like the way you feel, stress, maybe some trauma, anxiety. Have you ever had like a time in your life that you're so stressed out and you couldn't stop thinking about something, and then you dream it?
Um, I don't know. I don't know if I've had like that specific happen to me. I've heard of people having that. It's like stuff in your life is, you know, crazy. Your body kind of like has these dreams so that it will prepare you for the worst
Hmm.
almost. Is that kind of what you're alluding
Yeah,
to?
something like that.
Like your body's kind of playing out these different like scenarios to kind of
And
prepare you.
and yeah, and also, could it also mean that it was something from a past life too? I've had a dream that I'm like in the 1500s and I'm getting like stabbed or something.
Hmm.
And then I realize I'm like, is that some kind of my self consciousness thinking from back in the 1500s or
Yeah.
something?
So I have wanted to touch on a story kind of that touches on
Hmm.
that. I don't know. You've heard of Paul Stamets?
I have not, no.
Okay. He's been on the Joe Rogan podcast a couple of times, and he's a scientist that deals with mushrooms and the mycelium network,
Mhm.
and which is basically the mushroom network. Um, well, he goes on and tells a story, where I think it was him and his brother who find this massive patch of psilocybin mushrooms, and they ended up making a couple smoothies out of them. And it's a funny story if you ever get a chance to listen to him have the whole talk. And it's a fascinating story. It's really cool, and he tells it very well. Um, if you just look into Paul Stamets and the multiverse,
Okay.
and you'll find the video. But the story basically goes on to they take these mushroom smoothies, they have this great experience, but then he goes to sleep, and that night he has a dream. And the dream is that he um, sees just like, excuse me, he's seeing what he interprets as at the time the end of the world with because he sees just like all these dead cattle, and he's just like what could have killed all these cattle. It's thousands of dead cattle out here. And so he interprets that as like maybe a nuclear holocaust happens, and
Oh,
it's the end
wow.
of the world that way. So anyways, he wakes up the next morning and he tells his brother about it. And um they mark a date on the calendar, like, because they're like, kind of joking around about it. It's like, oh, when is the end of the world gonna be, Paul? And he's like, well, it's not gonna be this weekend. And it's something about that. I can't remember why he says that, but he goes on to say it's gonna be the next weekend. Okay, so they mark it on their calendar and they kind of forget about it. But the following week they get massive rain, massive snow, so much snow that when they when the snow does melt, because there is like a couple days later an inversion of the weather where it heats up rapidly, so they get all this rapid melt from the snow. And I guess it's also next to a glacier or something, so like the river there like rises like 6 feet like pretty rapidly, and so on. So um, Paul's like making this trip to go to somewhere to get his research from this area because he doesn't want to lose his research because he thinks it's going to get destroyed with the weather or something like that. Anyways, as he's driving, he comes around a bend, and there in a field are thousands and thousands of dead cattle.
Wow.
So he couldn't explain that. And it's like, you know, something that was very personal to him. But if you can just imagine you having that dream and then having that visual of just like a few days later, and how else do you explain that?
And so I had to wait 2 days, and the roads then opened up, and I drove out of the valley into the Snohomish Valley, and I went around the bend, and there the sun, it was a brilliant sunny day, a warm day, and there floating in the fields were hundreds and hundreds of dead cattle.
Whoa.
How do you explain that? I entered, I think, into the multiverse.
Whoa!
He calls it that. It's like a view into the multiverse,
Mm-hmm.
where you could like you could use this to tell the future if you could like harness it properly.
Interesting. I mean, it's funny that you say that because, well, okay, dead cattle, right? What do you think that would mean? Do you think death
If
means
you-
life, and life means death?
I don't know, because you would like that's how you want to try to explain a dream, right? It's through metaphor
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But for him, it was actually a literal thing.
Hmm.
So like when we try to explain and think of our dreams as like being, maybe they are both. Maybe it's literal and metaphorical. Maybe we're having something happening in our life, but it's also like kind of jolting, whatever connection we have to the multiverse, it's jolting some kind of connection to that as well and making us relive some past life memory or I don't know, maybe I really don't want to like try to expound too much on it. I know I'm going to sound like an idiot.
No, do it. Do it. I sound like an idiot all the time. Go ahead, man.
I know. No, I think that I don't know. I don't know what to say about all that. I feel like it's definitely has to do something. Something's like somehow, some way we're tapping into something when we dream.
Yeah.
Something that's like supernatural.
It's kind of like it's a glimpse into another version of ourselves. Have you ever thought about that? It's a glimpse of something that
maybe like what do you mean like a glimpse into something?
Yeah, a glimpse into
Like-
something that we've already
like-
experienced.
Oh,
And
like a past life.
like a past life.
Yeah.
But dreams can. Have you ever looked at a mirror and you had like writing, and the writing is backwards in the mirror? How like if you write an alphabet and then
you turn it around and it looks backwards.
It's backwards, right?
Yeah.
How do we not know our brain function works like that as well?
Uh-huh. Well, maybe it does. Maybe so. Yeah.
I wish we had an expert on that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different theories. Have you heard of like even deja vu? Actually,
That's a good point, though. Deja vu, I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very much close to like what we're talking about here.
Because I feel like deja vu it's in the gray area between reality and what we're dreaming of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever had experiences with deja vu?
All the time. Well, I wouldn't say all the time, but I would say that like 4 times a year.
Or is that a glimpse in the
I have
Matrix?
Maybe. I don't know. Like my friend was like, we were just like hanging out because you can just have it so randomly. I feel like a conversation you're having, or you're in traffic or something like that, and some weird event happens where it's like, well, I saw that before,
Or I've been there before.
I've been there before. Yeah, yeah. And I've had those experiences and I have them quite a bit. And it's never like, where I could be like, oh, I see it's coming and then I can predict the future. It's just like very much in the moment.
Right.
Where it happens and it's over. I'm like, whoa. I just had deja vu. And then it's gone.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think that's totally false. I mean, deja vu, there's something when it comes to deja vu. To me, that's not normal. Deja vu is not normal.
No.
No.
For
something or someone to say, you know what, I've been here before, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
That has to that either it's the Matrix that has some glitch, or it has to do with our brain function.
Right. And I think that's what, scientists would say is that it's like, okay, it's, your brain's kind of like just recreating events, in your head. You've had so many, always like, oh, traffic. Okay. You've been in traffic how many times in your life?
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands. You could just be constructing that memory like instantly, where you think that you've seen this before. You think you've had you had a similar conversation with somebody before. So that's why you had deja vu about it, so.
And if you want to get really into it here, we can talk about like alternative dimensions and parallel universes. Do you believe there's parallel universe out there?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it has to
think
be,
that there
right?
is. Right. I mean, I feel like there should be probably. I think it's going to come down to eventually we prove that that is true. Right now, science is there. I don't know if you recently heard their theory that we are inside of a black hole,
Yes, I
you
heard of
know,
that.
and that we are, and that there's probably other, and maybe all black holes are that like windows into other universes.
I've heard theories that we're in a black hole and we're all dead, and our
Mm.
dreams are probably just us reminiscing because our consciousness is still alive,
Mm,
which is absolutely insane to think
crazy.
about.
Yeah, like we just reconstructed
Well, yeah,
what we think is
our
like.
yeah,
We just think we're having
our
like,
body is gone right now, but our spirit and our consciousness is still
mm,
floating in the
which
universe.
is crazy. Yeah, I mean,
And if you're floating around the universe, you relapse into certain areas that you already were. So that's why
yeah,
when you think about it, you're like, I was here before.
yeah, which that's possibly true. I mean, that's very possibly true, but I think there's got to be a lot more going on with that. What's making it so I'm not getting kicked out of this like dream that I'm having right now? You know
It-
how you just can wake up from a dream
right.
like really quickly. You know, when you're having a dream, it's like when you wake up, it's instantly recognized that I just had a dream.
hmm Your body
You know, no
recognizes
matter
it too.
how real kind of felt at the time. You
Yeah.
know, and we always wake up to this reality that we're living in.
How do you know you're not in a dream right now?
Right. Well, I don't.
Isn't
I
that
don't
scary
know.
to think
Yeah,
about?
it is. It is, and I definitely lose sleep over that thought. You know, and it definitely goes into that simulation theory. You know, where we are. It's simulations within simulations within simulations, and so on. Um, but we always I'm that simulation is not being broken like very readily,
hmm
obviously. Like I'm staying within this reality where the people who I know have passed away in this, if we'll just call it a dream, they're still passed away. Whereas in these other dreams that I have when I'm going to quote unquote sleep, people will die in those dreams and I wake up and they're still very much alive. I've had family members die in dreams and obviously I wake up and they're still alive. And
Oh
vice
wow.
versa, where I'll dream about family members who have died and I wake up they're still dead.
What's crazy about that is that you have emotion, right? You're feeling. Someone died. You feel the pain, but in a
Hmm.
dream, you can also feel it. So,
Absolutely.
so is your brain telling your body, "Hey, this is actually really happening"?
Yes,
You think so?
I think so.
Have you ever woke up crying from a dream?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yes.
because you don't just cry just because
Yeah. No.
it's
I've woken up just like having just like deep like emotional pain. Just
what really screws my mind up.
mm-hmm.
Is like you're talking about relatives that have passed away,
Mm-hmm.
right? Have you ever thought about like when you see a relative that passed away and you see them in their dreams? Maybe it's you that passed away.
I haven't thought about it like that. No.
Maybe it's you, and
Maybe
they're
it's
in a
me that's
different.
dead.
Maybe it's you
And
that's dead, and you're in a
mm,
different universe, and they're alive.
maybe so.
Damn, bro, my
I
brain,
know.
my brain
I
is.
know.
You got to get
I
wrapped
talked
around
to
it,
my
huh?
yeah, me and my fiance. We were just having this conversation in the car the other day, where it's like, we're if you feel like you're in a simulation and you're the one recognizing that it's a simulation, do you feel like that's a very self-centric way to think about
Ah,
the
yeah,
world, where it's like everybody else is fake and I'm the real person,
or vice versa.
or vice versa, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
But I have felt like, I don't know if you've ever felt like, maybe like where you feel like, man, am I like, because everybody's obviously got to be having like a similar life experience as
mhm,
me and seeing reality a certain way. And, most of us would say your shirt looks, red or burgundy or something like that,
mhm.
but is that like just,
Is that the way
is that
you
way
look at
I'm
it?
perceiving it?
Hmm.
Yeah. And like you perceive it different. Are you even perceiving anything? Am I the only one perceiving here?
Yeah.
And like I've had just like that thought in my brain, but I do agree with my fiance. It sounds very self-centered,
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like, because it makes you feel like, am I saying that I'm the only real person and everybody else is fake when I say that?
The scary part is, what if everyone is fake and you're just alone in this world? Have you ever
Yeah,
thought
it's
about that?
scary. Yeah, I do. That's scary.
Yeah.
I had like a panic attack about that where I felt like, I was like imprisoned in a world that was fake, and I was like this evil, like I almost felt like I was Satan, and
Mm.
I was locked in this world where everybody else was fake, but they were all there to serve the purpose of keeping me in like
Torturing you.
yeah, keeping me in like a ignorance that I was imprisoned.
Wow.
And that this was actually me cut off from God or something like that,
So pretty much hell.
Yes, pretty much.
Damn. I never really thought about that, actually, now that you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, there's so much bad in this world. And there's times that I look at certain situations, like for a parent, a child. I mean, you lose a child. I don't know what it feels like losing a child, and I don't want to know. But how can hell be any worse than that? And for
losing a child.
Yeah.
Mm.
And for a person that...
Well, think about it. If like you died, or you go, well, if you died and you realize that everything, all that actually never even existed.
Yeah.
The child never existed even.
And it's just hell. It's just hell messing with you.
Yeah.
Why are you getting so deep today, bro?
You wanted this.
No, my goodness. You're getting deep into this, bro. Yeah, there's so many different ways. I mean, and the sad part is that now that you bring that up, what if we never die and we're just in hell for eternity? What if life gets worse and worse?
Maybe you die only long enough to realize that it's hell, and then it starts
you reincarnate
over again.
Yeah. I'm gonna need a drink right now.
Yeah.
Oh man. But people listening to this are like, man, what's wrong? Are these guys okay?
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. And yeah. And another thing that I think is crazy about dreams, it's the fact that when you dream about something, right? Is that actually reality, or is it a dream? Like, do you know if it's a dream, or do you know if it's reality?
It's imperceivable. I would say.
Like right now, how do I know I'm not dreaming doing a podcast right here?
I don't know. The Matrix is like the best movie ever for this, just because
there's something there.
The quote about where he's like, it's like what is real? As Morpheus puts it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, if real is something you can taste, something you can see, something you can smell, then real is just an electrical impulse interpreted by your brain.
And that happens while you dream. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine those people that, like, let's say Elon Musk, richest man in the world, successful, everything's going for him, but in reality, he's just some homeless man in the streets.
Maybe
sleeping.
You're Elon Musk.
I wish, man.
Maybe you are. Maybe we're all connected.
I could be Elon Musk or Jeffrey Dahmer, dude.
Maybe we're connected in that way. And I thought, maybe I die and I'm like wake up and I'm living as this person.
Yeah.
And I'm starting their life. I'm starting Conor McGregor's life tomorrow morning.
Oh. Well, what if it's worse?
Maybe it's worse. Maybe you start and you're Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. You wake up and I'm like, shit, I'm in prison right now.
Oh no, I'm saying like maybe it's like almost a reset of what their life is.
Yeah.
So maybe you're being born as Jeffrey Dahmer, and you go through making all the same choices Jeffrey Dahmer did that led him up into, killing all those people, eating those people.
Yeah.
And that's what life is. We think we have like a choice about things. You're always going to make what if you were always going to make every choice you ever have made? You're always going to make that choice, and every choice you will make, you are always going to make that choice.
Regardless.
We only ever thought that we had like freedom of choice.
That'd be no choice.
Yeah.
It's just pretty much scripted, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right. You think you have the choice, I feel like right now I have the option whether or not to do, and maybe I do up to like a certain, but I feel like what I think is that past, present, and future are connected in such a way, whereas, everything that will happen is going to happen a certain way, and it's all predetermined almost.
Right.
In a sense. I don't know how else better to put it, but
everything's scripted. Your life is scripted.
In a sense.
Yeah.
In a sense.
What if Yeah, and you see other people, like evil people, like we were talking about Jeffrey Dahmer or whatever. What if you are like Jeffrey Dahmer and you're just dreaming about being a normal person that works at a hospital?
Oh,
You
that
know
would
what I
be
mean?
crazy.
That would be insane.
And I've just been living this
Right now,
dream.
you just
I've
want
been
to,
living this dream that feels like I've been living this life for 35 years, but
and maybe
really
you,
the dream.
and maybe when you pass, that's when you wake up.
Yeah, maybe so. That'd be crazy.
Because
That's some
time,
Rick and Morty stuff. Have you seen? Do you watch Rick and Morty?
I have seen it, but I
Yeah.
haven't really got into it.
There's an episode where it basically you go into VR and you live this. I can't remember what they call it. It's like the name of a person, like a very generic name, but you live their life,
Mhm.
and you have all this, and it kind of like is kind of like a montage of all the highs and lows of this person's life, and like they love, have loss, they come back to it, and but something crazy could happen at any point during this thing where like you suddenly die and you're ejected out of the
Yeah.
virtual reality. And then and then everybody around starts talking. It's like, oh, you lasted this long,
Yeah. Have you ever had a dream that you're trying to kick out and you're trying to wake up yourself up?
Mhm. No, because anytime that I do realize that I am having the dream, I will wake up. I've never been able to be like, oh, I'm dreaming and I can fly around now.
Right.
And like how people say is like, they can realize they're dreaming and not wake up, and they can kind of control stuff going on in their dream.
Mm.
But I've never felt like I've been trapped in a dream. As soon as crazy stuff starts happening, I do wake up.
Yeah. I feel like that, but not dreaming. As
Mm.
I'm just here right now. Sometimes I feel like just kicking out. Have
Mhm.
you never had that experience at all? Like right now, I
Yeah.
just want to just kick out and
There's been
pinch,
times in
wake
life where I
up.
wished I was dreaming. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Wow. And then, so where do you think the boundaries is between a dream and reality when you're dreaming? Like, where's the boundaries between like, okay, I know I'm dreaming,
Mhm.
and if you know you're dreaming, is it actually yourself in reality?
I don't know. I think things like if a dream becomes too like fantastic, not in like the sense of like, oh, it's so good, but too fantastic and too fantasy in terms of being like fantastical,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, whoa, this is some crazy stuff. There's like, flying horses that are like, on fire, and they're, farting, gold out their butt,
Right.
and et cetera, then it's like, whoa, okay, something crazy's happening. It's usually like if I'm like, like I've had driving dreams where I just can't slow down,
Really?
and I just can't, yeah, and I get into these horrendous car crashes.
What do you
and
think
stuff
that
like
means?
I don't know. That's like, maybe I'm going the wrong way or
Because
something. I don't know.
I'm a real believer of if I dream something, that's not exactly what it is.
Hmm.
There's a message behind it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm, like you say, if let's say I'm driving the 100 miles an hour and
Mhm.
something happens, that's not really what happened.
Mm.
It's just my consciousness telling me that's happened, but it's not really what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, no. Because because in my dreams I feel like I'm very reckless.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very reckless in my dreams. Like
You can't control it.
like I'm just like if I'm driving, I am just like barely missing people, and I don't like, oh, I gotta be careful now. I continue being very reckless. I'm like, oh, and I gotta slow down, but no, I don't. So I speed up a little bit, and I'm like,
Have you ever
mm,
have you ever noticed that when you dream, you can't control it?
yeah,
Like I
no,
can control right now what I'm doing, right?
yeah.
But in a dream, I can't control it.
Yeah, at least
And
I can't. Yeah, I've heard of people being able
and what if
to.
that's some kind of reverse self consciousness that in dreams you can control, but in reality you can't control what's happening.
Hmm,
Have you ever thought about that?
maybe so. Yeah, where like where your dream is kind of like
You can control what you dream, but you can't control
reality, and that's why you dream that way.
Yeah.
So like
Because
you can feel like you're in control.
yeah,
Yeah, that could be.
I read a book on called The Republic.
Mm,
It's about Plato. It's a philosophy book, but I couldn't understand shit, right?
mm,
So what I do, I just do like audiobook as I'm reading.
mm,
Have you ever tried that?
mm-mm.
Yeah, that
It
helps a
feels
lot.
like it helps a lot.
For me, it does
Mm.
because yeah, it's way over my head sometimes, and I don't understand it. But I really want to know about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I usually do an audiobook, and I don't read as fast. I just slow it down a little.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, and have you noticed as well in dreams, people talk about nightmares more than they talk about, oh, I've had a good dream. Like nightmares is,
Yeah.
they make movies of just nightmares all the time.
Yeah. Well, nightmares, I think, are the dreams that stick. You know,
Yeah.
the trauma sticks, man.
Yeah.
You don't forget that stuff. I feel like, good things and good times and stuff like that kind of can, those kind of like melt together with the rest of your life. But when you have instance of trauma, it really like puts a stamp on this day,
Yeah.
and you never forget it.
If you had a dream that you can control, but yet it can't be a good dream, it has to be a bad dream. What do you think would be the worst dream you can come up with?
Oh shit. I don't know. Probably like being like I don't know. I don't know. The dream I had wasn't really a dream, but it was like how I felt, where I was having like this like almost like it felt like I was having this realization of like I told you where
Mhm.
I was trapped in this false reality and I was totally separated from everybody and everybody was fake and I was like this creature that was like pretty much hopeless and there was like no saving me and I couldn't get out and I couldn't get out of it. And there
Yeah.
was like basically all the stuff that we worry about, all the evil and stuff in the world, it was like it all just kind of vanished in an instant because it was like I felt so alone in this.
And you feel it,
really,
right? You
yeah,
feel it
I
in your
felt
dream.
it and in my dream. I was just like I was so alone and it felt so real that I just like I felt like I just wanted to die and not like feel this anymore.
Wow.
And I wanted to just forget that I even had this thought. And now it's like a permanent thing and always in the back of my brain though, because it was very traumatic and I had to like have my mom come out and talk to me about it. I
Really?
had to have
So
all
is
this
that
stuff.
like, was that realistic? Pretty
Yeah.
much?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was insane. And I mean, it wasn't really a dream like I was sleeping. It was like more like a dream like I was awake and like having this like happening.
Yeah.
But I feel like this can happen in your dreams. I had a dream later on after this happened. It was very similar to this experience and it made me think about very much these exact same things. And it seems like because since the first time it happened, it's happened twice again since that.
Hmm. What do you think that means?
I don't even want to hypothesize.
Yeah.
I want to think about it as little as I can.
Mhm.
But when I do
Oh,
think
come
about
on.
it, I know.
Let's get into it. I know.
Well, when I do think about it, it just like it kind of puts you back into that headspace, of, like when you are having that experience. It's not pleasant, because you really start thinking again, like this is maybe what that is. You
Yeah.
know, you start thinking maybe I am like in this fake place that is just kind of there to keep me, complacent of the fact that I'm in hell.
Oh, man. Yeah, that one's tough. For me, it's
Not that that is the fact. I'm just saying that's how I felt,
right.
you
Yeah.
know, and maybe that's not true, maybe because I do think that there's demons and I think there's, angels. And I think that like if there's demons and there's evil, they would want you to believe something like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They
I
would
agree.
want you to they would want you to think it was hopeless. They
That's
would want you to think that there was no way out.
that's the only way they would be able to be alive. Like by believing in them, believing that situation. That's how you
Yeah.
keep them alive. Like Freddy Krueger. If you believe in Freddy Krueger, you know,
Right. Yeah.
he'll
If you're
actually,
afraid of Freddy Krueger,
he gets
yeah.
stronger and stronger and
Mhm.
stronger. Kind of something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand that. For me, I mean, the worst possible dream that can be that everyone I loved never was actually there.
Yeah. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
I know exactly.
everyone that I've loved and cared about and worry about in reality or in dream,
Hmm.
was never there in the first place.
Yeah.
So
That's a horrible feeling.
oh yeah. I mean, you got to go to the depths of hell into your
Yeah.
mind to actually come comprehend that
Mm.
something like that. I believe in. A lot of people that go insane, they go to an insane asylum or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they say, well, that's not real, and this is that. I don't really think it's total false of their statements of what they're saying.
Like the hallucinations that they're
Yeah,
having.
they're like saying,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you're not." Did you hear about this was maybe 2-3 years ago. That girl that was like, "Yeah, that guy back there, that motherfucker ain't real."
Oh,
Or,
yeah.
remember?
She's on the plane. Yeah. She was on a plane.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
on a plane,
Yeah. And
and
they
they're
took
like,
her off the plane. He's like, yeah, I do remember.
I'm like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
is she dreaming or is she in reality or is that guy real or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like
I
that
remember.
that doesn't just
She
happen.
came back and she made a video like trying to like kind of downplay it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, they made you do that.
Well, who
'Cause
made her
was
do
she
that, you
drunk
think?
or something? Like, what do you think she was going through at that
I don't
time?
know. I don't know.
It's like, she's like, I'm telling you right now, that mother effer is not real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can see the fear and
Yeah, she was crying.
she was crying and stuff, and I'm like, wait, maybe that guy is not real.
Yeah, I know.
What does she know that we don't know?
Yeah, the guy.
And I feel certain.
I know because I don't see the guy on the video that she's talking about.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't show the camera.
And maybe like you show the camera at that guy and he's all like,
yeah.
he's like,
exactly.
He's like, shh, I'll kill you.
But if you really think about it, a lot of people that hallucinate and say, "Well, you know what? I saw this and I did," and they're like, "No, that person's crazy." Are they really that crazy, or is it just them waking up?
Maybe they're woke, man. Or maybe they're awake. I don't know. Maybe they are seeing a reality that's, maybe they're seeing another dimension that's just kind of laid over
Dude,
the reality we
that's
live in.
crazy. A glitch, or is it just?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Maybe. Well, I don't think a glitch. I think that it's probably like there's probably, dimensions laid over our dimension. So there's other things in those dimensions. So something could be walking right in front of you and you not see it because it's in a higher dimension or lower dimension kind of thing.
Yeah.
But maybe somebody who's kind of, put themselves, somebody who's struggling with drugs or alcohol or maybe they have something going on in their brain. Maybe that's just actually allowing them to see some of these other things in other dimensions.
Speaking of drugs, I don't know if you've ever been all drugged out or anything. I have not. Okay, but I've heard.
Never in my life.
Yeah. That once you take that substance, it wakes you up, and when you're drugged out, you're actually seeing reality for what it is.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that?
Well, I think that's not too far fetched. I've heard of like what you're saying. Yeah. I don't think that's too far fetched because there's things that we can't see, right? And we know this. We can't see the infrared spectrum. Okay, we know that for a fact. Now, what other things that we can't see that we don't know about though are there? We just don't have an instrument, to kind of show it that it's there. So I heard something. I have to go look it up now. I'm just not prepared because we got onto like a bit of a crazy topic. But I know I've heard somewhere in the past, like through evolution or whatever, that we kind of have developed a way of blocking some of like real world stuff. Because if we were seeing reality as it really was, we would not be able to survive.
Wow.
And so our bodies have actually created inhibitors to make it so you don't have receptors for some of this stuff.
Or you don't go insane.
Yeah, right. Well, because if you went insane, then maybe you couldn't survive.
Yeah.
Being insane. Maybe you starve to death because of this, because you lose all kind of interest in eating or whatever, interest in drinking water or something like that. I've heard, like, I'd have to look it up and bring it back to, but I think that there was something saying something along those lines that we have evolved inhibitors in our body to keep us from seeing reality as it truly is, just so that we can be alive in reality.
Man. Yeah, that's, I mean, a lot of people, including myself, it's hard to comprehend a lot of the stuff that we're even saying because they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But when they say, what are you talking about? Do they really want to accept what we're talking about? Do they really want to accept the fact?
Probably not. I don't think that a lot of people think about it that much. And
You
I
don't think so?
They might think about. I mean, maybe it comes up in conversation, but I don't think they sit and dwell on it.
Hmm.
I don't feel like I dwell on it a ton. If I sat and just thought about it constantly, I don't think I. I don't.
But that's
I
what you
would go
just said.
crazy.
That's what
I
you
would
just
go
said. That's
crazy.
reality keeping you in check, though, right?
Yeah.
If you constantly think about it, you have this sense of reality, and you're like, okay, it's just a nonsense
Because
dream.
what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Am I just gonna constantly wonder if everybody's fake and I'm trapped in hell or something? Am I constantly just gonna always think of that?
Yeah. No, yeah, that's
Mm.
pretty crazy. Do you believe like people have done big things in this world, right? Like, I don't know. Let's say someone that's really memorable, like like Jesus. Okay, Jesus was a human person, right? A human being, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you think he had some self consciousness of, hey, this is reality and this is not reality? Do you think he's the only person that knew the difference?
Uh,
Do you think there's,
I don't know.
you know
I
what I'm
feel
saying?
like
Like someone that does such a
Jesus.
big impact.
Yeah, because Jesus coming to the world as he did as a human being and a man, who in it for the body of flesh and blood, he lived a very human life as we do.
Mhm.
Whereas we're imperfect and his life was perfection. But he didn't feel he did feel sadness and he did feel anger and he did feel all these emotions, that we do as human beings. I don't think that I think that there was a thing that he put on himself limitations of his power. Obviously, Jesus Christ is the Savior, as we believe it, and that he, if because everybody wants to be like, oh, why didn't he just save himself if Jesus is as powerful as people say he is? Well, I don't think that he was meant to save himself, and I don't think that he was all powerful, in the sense that we think of
Yeah.
all powerful. I think that he limited himself coming here in the form of a man.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I think it was meant to be that way. He had to live a life like we do.
But what I'm saying is he knew the difference. The, Jesus as a
Mm,
human knew. I mean, when people say
maybe.
Jesus died on the cross, it's easy to say that. But
Yeah.
do
He knew he
did the
was
people
different.
understand
Yeah.
how horrific that would have been, getting crucified on the cross?
Uh,
You know,
and as brutally as he was,
and
people say he wasn't the only person to be crucified, but
right,
they were very brutal about the way they crucified
yeah,
Jesus.
and and that was like that's reality.
Yeah.
That's how, like you were saying, how horrible reality can possibly be.
Yeah.
That was reality, and
Yeah.
that's some kind of saying like, this is what reality really looks like, and that's why you should follow me.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's a hint there that'd be like, yep, that's reality. Like
Yeah.
that's we talk about crossing the line. That was the line.
Mm-hmm.
He showed what mankind are capable of doing, and not just that. It happens all over the world. People do horrific things,
Yeah.
and as they do horrific things, are those them really dreaming it, or is that reality? Because,
I don't
like I
know.
said, we can talk about,
It's reality in the sense that we understand it, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
But do they
I
understand it? That's the big question, I think.
don't know what people who do horrible
Yeah.
things.
Do they understand they're doing that?
Yeah, I think so.
Like some guy
I
who
think we know. I think we know the difference between that we've done good and that we've done evil.
Yeah, and to me, I don't. In reality, in like life, like we're right now, I don't think people do realize it. I think it's
Possible.
I
It's
think some
possible.
guy
Maybe
wakes. Some
maybe
guy can
because
go
like
and
Hitler probably thought he was like, man, I'm really good for getting rid of all these nasty people.
yeah,
That
or maybe Hitler
like
woke
not
up
that
and
Jews are nasty people. I'm just saying that he was doing some horrible, horrible stuff to the Jewish people, and that he probably thought he was in the right for doing it.
yeah. Well, and also he could have just woke up and be like, "Oh man, I started a Holocaust and started World War II. Thank God that was a dream."
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, not defending Hitler,
Not
but
defending Hitler at all.
yeah. But I'm just saying, there's certain people that commit crimes that be like, "Oh shit, I did this,"
Yeah.
because I've
There's
dreamed
gotta be those
before.
people. There was that guy that like killed his like 3 children and like their bodies were out like kind of like lined up on the lawn and he was just sitting on his porch
Hmm.
after waiting for the cops to get there. There's a video on YouTube of him
Wow.
sitting on the porch, and that they just got the lawn blurred out.
Hmm.
His kids are laying there on the lawn.
And
He went without a fight or anything. Like, what possessed that man to do that?
yeah. And right there is where it crosses between, is this reality or not? Because come on, you can't be in the right state of mind to do something like that.
Yeah.
No matter how evil a person could be, I don't feel like they're in the right mind at all. Like, oh, this is cool. I'm just going to do this. No,
Yeah.
there's some kind of glitch in their brain that I feel like, okay, is this reality or is this not true? Because I've had dreams myself that, I've done some horrible things or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, man, thank God that was just a dream.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't do that.
Yeah, I've had the same dreams kind of thing,
Yeah. But,
Yeah. Even in like my waking life, I've had, I don't know, intrusive thoughts, you have in your
Right.
waking life. Like, how could you truly mess up your life kind of thoughts, like you just like, oh, that was like, don't do that, obviously. But that's like weird that I even had that the thought even like entered your brain.
You're bringing up a good point.
It's like more of like, not that I even thought like had a desire to do, but it was like this. There is like this is what you could do that if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Not that you want to, but it's like that like option is there on the table, and it's like that is horrible.
Well, here's something to think about. We, as human beings, have free will, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in our dreams, we don't have free will.
Yeah, things are just happening.
Things are just happening. So, is free will a dream or is free will actually reality?
I want to say free will is the reality that we perceive.
That we perceive.
Yeah. Not that it's actually that, but I think that it's the reality that we perceive.
Because our minds, we can think of anything we want. That's free will, right?
Yeah.
But can we do it?
I mean,
I can be like, oh yeah, I'm going to score 100 points in the NBA. Yeah, I just thought about that. But can I actually do it?
Right. Yeah.
No, I can't do it.
No.
So in reality, could I do it or could I not?
I don't know.
Or in a dream, can I or can I not?
So now you start screwing the line of like, well, now you're delusional.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. People that are like in insane asylums are like, oh, this guy's delusional. Is he delusional or is he not delusional?
I don't know. Is it like what he's saying? Like, is there a potential for what he's saying? Is there a basis for the potential of what he's saying being fact, or being the reality? Or just something that you can't prove? Obviously, he says, yeah, I scored 100 points yesterday in an NBA game, and I'm sitting here in an insane asylum.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that doesn't sound like basis of reality. But he just was like, yeah, the demon over your shoulder just now said that he's...
So you think it's darker than something like that then?
Yes. Yeah. I think that like people who are in insane asylums, there's something darker going on.
So it's not something as simple as, oh yeah, I did this. Yeah. It's a lot darker.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so.
Well, Thomas, oh man, we really got into dreams. Anything else you want to say before we close it up here?
No, I think I've touched on basically everything that I wanted to on the topic. I'm sure we could go on longer and more so, but I think we've kind of covered.
My mind's a little overwhelmed here.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I really hope this is not a dream, and I'm actually talking to everyone here, and
me too.
We'll see. And if this is a dream, well, maybe I'll see you in reality.
Yeah, maybe so.
All right. Have a good one, everyone.
See ya.